So that is the root of all the problems of the world. That living today has forgotten Krishna. Man manavo. That's why Lord is telling, man manavo, think about me. And also we see it from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna bhuliya jiva anadir bahirmukh. Anadir bahirmukh. Jiva has forgotten Krishna. And because from anadir bahirmukh, for unlimited, unfathomably immeasurable time, we don't know when, we have forgotten Krishna. And we have got the habit of forgetting Krishna, right? Habit forming. And because of that, we tend to forget his devotional service also, which is described in ninth chapter. Most conventional knowledge. Man manabho mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mam evaisesi yukta atmanam mat parayana. So Lord is telling that think about me. Mad bhakta become my devotee. Madhyaji worship me. And by doing so, what will happen? Yukta you will come to me, and having come to the standard of Yuktaivam, Atmanam, your Atma, mind, body, and soul, Yuktaivam will be fully engaged in me, in my service, and Atmanam Mat Parayana, and whole body and mind and senses being so engaged will be Parayana, matlab just having to do with Krishna and nothing else, and no one else. So, like, what is the percentage of souls who are able to do it? Mat Parayana. Always Krishna conscious, right? Always thinking about Krishna and thinking about the mission of the Lord. They're very rare souls, thinking for the pleasure of the Lord and His mission. So that's why this knowledge is called most confidential knowledge. Okay, so we shall proceed ahead to text chapter 10. And again, once again, I like to request all of you, kindly keep your Chalachitra open so that I could also see you, Prabhus. So that's my request. Kindly keep your videos open because we are just a handful of devotees, and we want to have some little, personal type of discussion. Uh, I don't find like any video is open except in Shan Prabhu now. So I would like to request once again, kindly keep your video open. Wherever you are moving, and just kindly keep your video open. Fine. So let's go ahead. To first, we'll see there are total number of slokas in chapter 10. Total there are 42 slokas. 42 श्लोक हैं chapter 10 में. So now Lord has already told that devotional service, premai bhakti, is the ultimate thing, most confidential knowledge, top of all the knowledge. Raj Vidya is like king of all the knowledge. The most confidential Raj Goyam is most pure, most sublime. There is nothing pure knowledge than this. Pavitram idam uttamam, pavitram, most pure, and best of all the knowledge. Pratyakshavagamam dharmam susukam kartum. One can realize it just by just doing it, and immediately one can realize it. One can get the effect, right? You do loving service to the Lord, immediately you get the effect. Pratyakshavagamam. You don't require to do meditation for millions of thousands of years going into Himalayas. No. That's not required. Immediate pratyakshavagamam dharmam susukam kartum. It's very pleasurable to perform. Very pleasurable to perform. So having said this, most confidential knowledge, now Lord is going to tell in chapter 10 that his different opulences, right, to help generates more devotion in the heart of his devotee, right? So Krishna now explains his own opulences, right? Because more one knows about someone in a positive way, his glories, more the devotion arises for him, more the appreciation arises for him. But when the same appreciation is there for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that becomes bhakti. And the same appreciation is for any mundane personality in this world, that becomes useless, right? Practically, there is nothing as quality exists in this world which have a separate existence than of the Supreme Lord. Even the qualities which are being sold and reflected in this material world in tiny jivas is actually coming from the Lord only. That is going to be described in this particular chapter. So just wait, man. I'm keeping this for a while quiet, otherwise. Okay. Well, Bhakti Sashtri class will happen. Oh, yes, good. Hare Krishna. So sorry for the disturbance. I'm muting the phone. Boom. Okay. So what we are discussing, Prabhu? The connectivity between chapter 9 and chapter 10, we were discussing. The chapter 9 describing most confidence in knowledge. Chapter 10, Lord is going to tell his own opulences so that devotee's heart could appreciate about Krishna more, and he gets more his bhakti into intensification. Right? The bhakti gets more and more intensified. So that's what is the desire of the Lord. What is the desire of the Lord? My devotee do my devotional service more intensified way. So chapter 10 is all about that. Krishna explains his opulences. Anything in this world we see as opulence is nothing but reflection of that supreme and ultimate and original opulence of Krishna getting reflected in this world. Yeah. So we'll see the breakdown from sloka 1 to 7. What is described? Krishna is the origin of everything. That is described. So the opulences are described. Sloka 1 to 7. If you can follow, you can see in your personal copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Krishna is the origin of everything. Krishna describes his opulences specifically. How he is source of everything. From chapter sloka 8 till 11, most celebrated Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita is described. So this sloka could also be your VMA, verse for memory, verse memory assessment. So Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita 8 and 11, which is the essence of whole Bhagavad Gita in just 4 slokas. Everything is there. Samandha, Vidya, Prayodhana. All these 3 things are discussed in Chatusloki 8, 9, 10, 11, 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, and 10.11. And then from 12 sloka till 18 sloka, Arjuna's acceptance. Arjuna accepts what Krishna has so far told. And he also requests to hear about more, right? So if somebody gets Lord's devotional service, somebody is like, no, he does pure devotion service. What is the symptom of pure devotion service? Loving devotion service. That you want to hear about Krishna more, right? That's the description of pure devotion service. Nirguna Bhakti. That is mentioned in third canto by Kapil Muni. Mad guna suti matrena maig sarvam guhashay manorgati avichinna. Any devotee who has attained the pure devotion service, what is their symptom? Just by hearing the qualities, wonderful qualities of Krishna, his mind becomes like restlessly and uninterruptedly, helplessly get withdrawn or attracted toward those narrations or descriptions. And he want to hear more, or batai, or. There is no suggestion. Oh, it's so much time now. Let's do something else. So that's what it is. So Arjuna wants to hear more and more from Krishna about his opulences. From text 12 till 18, he expresses his eagerness to hear Krishna's glories, so that he could always think about Krishna's glories. And that's what is the most confidence and knowledge, to think about Krishna. Then again Krishna starts glorifying, not glorifying his own opulences, right? So Arjuna requests, after Krishna describes, most prominent among his limitless, all-pervading opulences. Right? And in this way, chapter gets closed in text 42. So let's proceed ahead. I'm going to share with you all close. So we'll have the same format of reading as that before. श्रीभगवानुवाच भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead say, listen again, O mighty Arjuna. Because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Purport. Can any devotee volunteer to read this purport?
Purport by His Divine Grace,
Krishna,
Srila
Prabhu.
Prabhupada. Jagadu Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word Bhagavan is explained thus by Parashar Muni, one who is full of six opulences, who has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. In Bhagavatam, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, while Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all six opulences. Therefore, great sages like Parashar Muni have all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Krishna is instructing Arjuna to more confidential knowledge of his opulence and his work. Previously, beginning with the 7th chapter, the Lord has already explained his different energies and how they are acting. Now, in this chapter, he explained his specific opulence to Arjuna. In the previous chapter, he has already clearly explained his different energies to establish devotional inferred conviction. Again in this chapter, he tell Arjuna about his manifestations and various opulences. The more one hears about the Supreme Lord, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. That will enhance one's devotional service. This discourages in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be Krishna consciousness. Other cannot take part in such discourses. The Lord clearly tells Arjuna that because Arjun is very dear to him, for his benefit, such discourses are taking place.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, bro. So, what Srila Prabhupada is telling? That by hearing the glories of the Lord, bhakti in the heart of Jiva arises. And more one hears, it arises and intensifies even more and more and more. That's why devotees' business is what? To hear about Krishna and make arrangements so that others could also hear about Krishna. Right? So, hearing about Krishna is your own bhajan, and making others to hear about Krishna is called preaching service, right? So that others could also get devotional service. And that should be done in the society of devotees, right? Discourses in the society of devotees. Yeah. So that people will become more Krishna conscious. Text 2. न मे विदुः सुरगणाः प्रभवं न महर्षयः अहम् आदिर्हि देवानां महर्षीणां च सर्वशः. Translation. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my original opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages. Yes, who would like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Purport. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord. No one is greater than him. He is the cause of all causes. Here it is also stated by the Lord personally that he is the cause of all the demigods and sages. Even the demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name nor his personality. So, what is the position of the so called scholars of this tiny planet? No one can understand why this supreme God comes to earth as an ordinary human being and executes such wonderful, uncommon activities. One should know then that scholarship is not the qualification necessary to understand Krishna. Even the demigods and the great sages have tried to understand Krishna by their mental speculation, and they have failed to do so. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also it is clearly said that even the great demigods are not able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can speculate to the limits of their imperfect senses and can reach the opposite conclusion of impersonalism, of something not manifested by the three qualities of material nature, or they can imagine something by mental speculation. But it is not possible to understand Krishna by such foolish speculation. Bhagavad Gita says that if one wants to follow the absolute truth, here I am present as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the Supreme. One should know this. Although one cannot understand the inconceivable Lord who is personally present, he is nonetheless exists. We can actually understand Krishna, who is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, simply by studying his words in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The conception of God as some ruling power or as impersonal Brahman can be reached by persons who are in the inferior energy of the Lord. But the personality of Godhead cannot be conceived unless one is in the transcendental position. Because most men cannot understand Krishna in his actual situation out of his causeless mercy, he descends to show favor to such speculators. Yet, despite Supreme Lord's uncommon activities, these speculators, due to contamination in the material energy, still think that the impersonal Brahman is the Supreme. Only the devotees who are fully surrendered unto the Supreme Lord can understand, by the grace of the Supreme Personality, that He is Krishna. The devotee of the Lord do not bother about the impersonal Brahman conception of God. Their faith and devotion bring them to surrender immediately unto the Supreme Lord. And out of causeless mercy of Krishna, they can understand Krishna. No one else can understand Him. So even great sages agree. What is Atma? What is the Supreme? It is He whom we have to worship.
Correct.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, bro. So, Name Vidu Surgana. The demigods, Surgana, they don't know me. Prabhamcha Maharshaya, my origin. They do not understand. Who do not understand? Those who are even higher than the demigods like Maharshis, great sages, those staying in Maharloka. They also do not understand me. Aham Adi Hi Devana. Why they are not able to understand me? Because I am the origin of them. Right? Sometimes the young devotees they come in Krishna consciousness and they go to their home and they start preaching to their father, mother, and the father mother tell, अरे मेरा ही बेटा मुझे ही सिखा रहा है आज का आया छोकरा मुझे ये धर्म के पाठ पढ़ा रहा है why because they also think in that way materially the fathers they think that I am big than him I only given him the birth how can he know me and how can and he be so important to teach me right so in the same way Lord is telling this Maharshi and Devatas actually they have come from me. Now, how can somebody who has come from me can know me? They can never know me. First of all, Supreme Lord is uh, unlimitedly expansive in his qualities, and there is no limit of his qualities. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta, Hari Guna Ananta. So how these demigods could understand? They can never understand, right? So these demigods and Maharshis, they many times fail to understand Krishna. But if we want to understand, we could understand as much Krishna reveals. through the process of devotional service, studying the Shastras, Bhakti Shastras like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam that is mentioned here in the second paragraph. Simply by studying the words of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we can actually understand Krishna, who is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, simply by studying his words. So for a simple devotees, it's very, very easy to be understood. Like those who are devotees of the Lord, they have somehow happened to come under the shelter of the pure devotees of the Lord. So it's very easy for them to understand Krishna. Otherwise, he is not able to be understood by devatas. Like Indra, he misunderstood Krishna many times. Like Maharshi Bhrigu, who could not figure out who is supreme, and he happened to even happened to kick the chest of Lord Narayan. Such a horrible thing they could do without not having the devotional service to the Lord. Right. So even Maharshi and Devata could not understand. That a simple devotee on earthly planet they can understand by reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Okay, let's go to text 3. Yo mam ajam manadim cha vetti lokamaheshwaram asammudha samarteshu sarva papai pramuchyate. He who knows me as unborn, as a beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Okay? Translation. Sorry, Parpat. Please read.
Hare Krishna. As stated in the 7th chapter, 7.3, Manusyanam Sahasresu Kacche Deta, those who are trying to elevate themselves to the platform of spiritual realization are not odd men. They are superior to millions and millions of ordinary men who have knowledge of spiritual realization. But out of those actually trying to understand their spiritual situation, one who came to the understanding that Krishna is the supreme person of God, the preparator of everything, the unborn, is the most successful spiritually realized person. In that stage only, when one has fully understood Krishna's supreme position, can one be
Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, I'm not able to hear anything. Is it same for all of you?
So, yes, bro, I'm continuing.
Yeah, please continue.
When one has fully understood Krishna's supreme position, can one be free completely from all sinful reactions? So can you scroll up, bro? Here, the Lord is described by the word Aja, means unborn. But, Prabhu, do you want to continue, Achyuta Shasmatma Prabhu?
Continue.
Yes, sorry, bro. Actually, one second. Network is fluctuating. Here the Lord is described by the word Aja, Aja meaning unborn, but he is distinct from the living entities who are described in the 2nd chapter as Aja. The Lord is different from the living entities who are taking birth and dying due to material attachment. The conditioned souls are changing their bodies, but his body is not changeable. Even when he comes to this material world, he comes as same unborn. Therefore, in the 4th chapter, it is said that the Lord, by his eternal potency, is not under fear of material energy. but is always in the superior energy. His voice in this verse, the word Veti Loka Maheswaram indicate that one should know that Lord Krishna is the supreme preparator of the planetary systems of the universe. He was existing before the creation and he is different from his creation. All the demigods were created within this material world.
Within this material world, but as far as Krishna concerned, it is said that he is not created. Therefore, Krishna is different even from the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. And because he is the creator of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods, he is supreme person of all planets. Sri Krishna, therefore, different from everything that is created, and anyone who knows him as such immediately becomes liberated from all sinful reactions. One must be liberated from all sinful activities to be in knowledge of Supreme Lord. Only by devotional service can he be known and not by any other means. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, one should not try to understand Krishna as a human being. As stated previously, one only a foolish person think him to be a human being. This is again expressed here in different way. A man who is not foolish, who is intelligent enough to understand the constitutional position of the Godhead, is always freed from all sinful reactions. If Krishna is known as the son of Devaki, then how can he unborn? That is also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam when he appears before Devaki and Vasudeva. He was not born as an ordinary child. He appears in the original form and then he transformed himself into the ordinary child. Anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated by the material reactions, which may be auspicious or inauspicious. The conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less a mental conclusion because there are nothing auspicious. Because there is nothing auspicious in this material world. Everything is inauspicious because the way material nature is inauspicious. When simply imagine it to be auspicious. Real auspiciousness depend on the activities in Krishna consciousness is a full devotional service. Therefore, if we at all want our activities to be auspicious, then we should work under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Such directions are given in authoritative scriptures such as Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, or from a bona fide spiritual master, because the spiritual master is the representative of Supreme Lord. His direction is directly the direction of the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master, saintly person, and scriptures directed in the same way. There is no contradiction in these three sources. All actions done under the such direction are free from the reactions of pious and impious activities of this material world. The transcendental attitude of the devotees in the performance of activities is actually that of renunciation. And this is called sannyasa. As stated in the first verse of sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one who acts as a matter of duty because he has been ordered to do so by the Supreme Lord, and who does not seek shelter in the fruits of his activities, anasrita karma phalam, is true renouncer. Anyone acting under the direction of the Supreme Lord is actually a sannyasi and a yogi, and not the man who has simply taken the dress of sannyasi or a pseudo yogi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, some few things very, very important to be discussed into this section, this part. So, Lord is telling that I am not as Aja as it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita second chapter, right? Ajo nityam saswato vayam purano na hanyate hanyamane sarire. That Aja, that is mentioned, which is mentioned in second chapter 20th sloka. So that is also the actually characteristic of the Jiva. The Jiva being Aja means the soul Jiva is never taken birth. But having actually attained the bodies, he is actually every life they are just taking newer body and leaving the newer body and again taking the old body. So in that way, he is actually not Aja. But Supreme Lord, whenever he comes here on the material platform, I mean, he never touches material platform. He actually appears here. He never takes a material body. He comes with his self-same body. So that's the difference one has to understand. And when somebody understands in this way, then he becomes eligible to return home back to God. This is the way Lord comes. Divyam janma karma chame divyam evam vyatti tattvataha. He gets free from so much of sinful reactions just by having this knowledge. Right? That Lord is not coming here like us. We come here life after life because of our material attachment, but Lord has no attachment on this material world. Lord comes out of his causeless mercy with self same Sachidananda body. So, Vritti Lokamaheshwara. Another point was there that this is what is discussed, that how Krishna is known as son of Devaki, how can he unborn? This is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, that you are not born as an ordinary child, he appeared in his original form and then he transformed himself into an ordinary child. Right? So here it's mentioned that if anybody works in this way, knowing that यो माम अजम मनादिम व्यक्ति लोक महेश्वरम असमूढ़ समर्थेषु सर्व पापे प्रमुच्यते असमूढ़ समर्थेषु. So what is that position of asamudha, undiluted, undiluted platform in which one works, and by doing so, by working so, he becomes freed from all the sinful activities. So that is actually most auspicious path in which there is no reactions of sinful activities or whatever activities, right? That is the platform of Krishna consciousness. Real auspiciousness depends upon activities of Krishna consciousness. Nahi yasya siva pantaha. There is a sloka comes from Bhagavatam. Let me check where it is. Nahi yasya siva pantaha. Siva pantaha. Yogiram Brahma Siddhaye. Nahi yat anya siva pantaha. Vishwata samshita. 2 to 233. नहि अतो अन्य शिव पंथा विशता संसृष्टावइह वासुदेवे भगवती भक्ति योग यतो भवेत्. For those who are wandering in the material universe, this is 2 to 33 Bhagavatam. There is no more auspicious means of deliverance than what is aimed at in the direct devotional service of Lord Krishna. So direct devotional service of Lord Krishna. What do you mean by direct devotional service of Lord Krishna? It's devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord. Devotional service in which Lord is the object of our pleasure of the activities, right? And not my own fruitive mentality. By doing devotional service, somebody want to get different things, which actually having nothing to do with the pleasure of the Lord. So that is called auspicious, right? Because everything is inauspicious in this material nature. Everything is inauspicious. If somebody thinks that this is auspicious, that is inauspicious. Getting job is auspicious. Getting failure in the job is inauspicious. Getting this, my having a marriage is auspicious. Having not getting match in marriage is inauspicious. So people have different conception in their mind that, oh, if this would have happened in my life would have been more auspicious. This is not happening. That's why I'm in inauspicious. Everything is just inauspicious. So where it's mentioned, something very similar lines. It's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also at one place. And Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami tells that Ehi mando, ehi bhalu, sam mano dharma. What is auspicious, what is inauspicious, everything is just mental speculation. People in this world, they are simply imagining something to be auspicious, something to be inauspicious. But actually everything is inauspicious. Because on the material platform, everything is inauspicious. Auspiciousness can be only brought in the spiritual world. Or if we are not in a spiritual world, that could be brought even in the material world when we do devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord. That's what we saw. Direct devotional service to the Lord. But the degree we are having our self motivation of different types, motivations, some tamaguna motivations, rajaguna motivations, satoguna, the path of devotional service seemingly uh, will not give the full auspiciousness. That's why Srila Prabhupada is telling that the transcendental attitude of devotee in the performance of activity is actually that of renunciation. And this is called sannyas. Renunciation means I don't need anything, O Lord. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kame, mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhakti rahetu kitoi. Oh Lord, I don't want anything. I don't want money to accumulate. I don't want janam. No, I don't want followers. Na sundarim, neither I want beautiful woman. What do I want? Just ahituki bhakti. Just bhakti for your pleasure and nothing else. Ahituki bhakti. So when this ahituki bhakti happens, then the real Siva Pantha, the real auspiciousness of the Jiva arises. Yeah. Otherwise, Jiva still remains somewhere into miserable conditions of life, in speculation. Text 4-5. बुद्धिर्ज्ञान सम्मोह क्षमा सत्यम दम शमः सुखम दुःखम भवो भावो भयम च भयमेव च अहिंसा समता तुष्टिस्तपो दानं यशो यशः भवन्ति भावा भूतानां मत्तैव पृथग्विदा. But dear devotees, after this particular section, we will take 5 minutes break. Then we shall continue on. So, translation: intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. Purport. It's quite huge purport. So, not everything we have to read. I'll tell you. Who like to read?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
The different qualities of living entities, be they good or bad, are all created by Krishna and they are described here. Intelligence refers to the power to analyze things in their proper perspective, and knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. Ordinary knowledge obtained by a university education pertains only to matter, and it is not accepted here as knowledge. Knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter. In modern education, there is no knowledge about spirit. They are simply taking care of the material elements and worldly needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. Registrar uh, Ashammoha, freedom from doubt and delusion, can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when he understands the transcendental philosophy. Slowly but surely, he becomes free from bewilderment. Nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and with caution. Ksama, tolerance, and forgiveness should be practiced. One should be tolerant, and excuse the minor offenses of others. Satyam, truthfulness, means the facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Facts should not be misrepresented. According to social conventions, it is said that one can speak the truth only when it is palatable to others. But that is not truthfulness. The truth should be spoken in a straightforward way so that others will understand actually what the facts are. If a man is a thief and if people are warned that he is thief, that is truth. Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Truthfulness demands that the fact be presented as they are for the benefit of others. That is the definition of truth. Control of the senses means that the senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. There is no prohibition against meeting the proper needs of the senses, but unnecessary sense enjoyment is detrimental for spiritual advancement. Therefore, the senses should be restrained from unnecessary use. Similarly, one should restrain the mind from unnecessary thoughts, that is called sama. One should not spend one's time pondering over earning money. That is a misuse of thinking power. The mind should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings, and that should be presented authoritatively. The power of thought should be developed in association with person authorities in the scriptures, saintly persons, and spiritual masters to this column. Spiritual masters and those whose thinking is highly developed. To come, pleasure or happiness should always be in that which is favorable for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge of Sri Krishna consciousness, and similarly, that which is painful or which causes distress is that which is unfavorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Anything favorable for the development of Krishna consciousness should be accepted as anything unfavorable should be rejected. Bhava, birth should be understood to refer to the body. As far as the soul is concerned, there is neither birth nor death. That we have discussed in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Birth and death apply to one's embodiment in the material world. Fear is due to worrying about the future. A person in Krishna consciousness has no fear because by his activity he is sure to go back to the spiritual sky, back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, his future is very bright. Others, however, do not know what their future holds. They have no knowledge of what the next life holds. So they are therefore in constant anxiety. If we want to get free from anxiety, then the best course is to understand Krishna and be situated always in Krishna consciousness. In that way, we will be free from all fear. In that, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11 to 37, it is stated, "Bhayam bhayam bhayam ditya viniveshatah syat." Fear is caused by our absorption in the illusory energy. But those who are free from illusory energy, those who are confident that they are not the material body, that they are spiritual parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who are therefore, this column, who are therefore where is
Hare Krishna. Anupam Prabhu, are you able
yes,
to see? हरि बोल
yes, Lord.
दिखाई दे रही है
Oh, yes, Lord. Who are therefore engaged in transcendental service of the Supreme Godhead, have nothing to fear their future is uh, their future is very bright. This fear is a condition of persons who are not in Krishna consciousness. Abhayam, fearless, is possible only for one in Krishna consciousness. Ahimsa, non-violence, means that one should not do anything which will put others into misery or confusion. Material activities that are promised by so many politicians, sociologists, philanthropists, etc., do not produce very good result because the politicians and philanthropists have no transcendental vision. They do not know what is actually beneficial for human society. Ahimsa means that people should be trained in such a way that the full utilization of the human body can be achieved. The human body is meant for spiritual realization, so any movement or any commission which do not further that and commit violence on the human's body, that which further the future spiritual happiness of the people in general, is called non-violence.
Thank
Samata.
you, bro. Thank you so much, bro. We'll pause here. So
Okay.
we'll discuss first these things. What Lord is Srila Prabhupada is describing the different terminologies Lord has coined up here. Starting from intelligence. So intelligence is what? What Srila Prabhupada is intelligence to be? Refers to the power of analyzing things in their proper perspective. What is spirit? What is matter? Who is supreme? This is called intelligence, right? And then knowledge means knowing about these three things. Knowledge which is described in Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter also. Knowing MSc. If somebody had an MSc, he is called knowledgeable person. M for matter, spirit, S for spirit, and C for controller of both. But modern university education, they give us knowledge of matter and they never give the knowledge of spirit. Hardly they give. Right? And forget about knowledge of controller of both. So their MSc is simply M, that's it. Their degrees having no spirit soul. That's why they're called lifeless degrees. Lifeless degrees. No use, Marawa degree. There is no soul and there is no controller of the body and the soul. So what type of degree? That's why people that take degrees and they're lifelessly moving around, roaming around like a haunted ghost from one company to another. And nowhere they are giving shelter. So that's called knowledge. MSc. Asammoha. Sammoha means freedom from the doubt and delusion. So one can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when he understands the transcendental philosophy. Sammoha. Who can be asammoha? Who knows Krishna, he can be asammoha. Who could be in moha? The person who is in my mode of ignorance and passion. He will always moha. He will always into what is called delusion. Right? But whose vision is clear. At least somebody has to come in mode of goodness to get free from doubt and delusion. And still, if you go further, if he goes further, knowing Krishna and serving Krishna, then he becomes completely free from all doubts and delusion. He's perfectly able to see his future and the future of other jivas. Right? Kshama, tolerance, forgiveness should be practiced. Satyam, truthfulness need to be practiced. Means facts should not be misrepresented. Whatever is there, that should be told. Satyam is that. Speaking the truth, straightforward. Yeah, truthfulness demands that facts to be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Satyam, that's a different, total 5 features of the tapasya, the speech which is mentioned in 17th chapter. We'll discuss it later on. So control of the senses, samaha, and sama means control of the mind, control of senses. The senses should not be used in unnecessarily personal enjoyment, right? Right. So, but unnecessary sense examination is detrimental for spiritual advancement. Means the sense of hearing, sense of nose, sense of taste, sense of touch. These things these all five senses, which are knowledge acquiring senses, should be engaged in control. It should not be indulged in sense gratificatory activities. That's called dhamma. Now, what is samaha? Samaha means control of mind, right? So, if any unnecessary thing comes in the mind, immediately it has to stop right there. And many times it happens that unceremoniously or maybe unknowingly we are thinking about some mundane thing and we are just keep thinking about it, doing nothing, or thinking about the some little bit thing had happened with anybody, with our relationship and what's like so many things we keep thinking. So we have to immediately control the mind, stop it right here. Don't overthink. Think about Krishna's lotus feet. One should not spend one's time pondering over earning money. Papa is telling that is misuse of thinking power, right? Man should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings. And that should be presented authoritatively. And what is that? How one soul can get loving devotion service to Krishna. That should be presented authoritatively from the Shastras. And this power of thought could be developed in association of pure devotees. Persons are authorities in the scriptures, saintly persons, spiritual masters. So that's Sukham. What is Sukham? Cultivating whatever is favorable in Krishna consciousness, that is Sukham. Right? If somebody happens to read Srimad Bhagavatam, like suppose you happen to read Srimad Bhagavatam 2 hours continuously, right? Now what you will feel after serving Srimad Bhagavatam 2 hours? Immense amount of Sukham, internal happiness and joy. Or somebody happened to do 2 hours of gaming, right? Then what will you get after 2 hours of gaming? Dukkham, frustration. Mind will be hacked. My God, what the hell it was. 2 hours of right? I don't know. I never had any experience of doing that. But I see people they have got into hours and hours of gameplay. If there's that many hours, it would have been implied and applied in reading and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. As many people are wasting their time doing all nonsense things. The whole world become revolutionized, right? Viplava there. If this much time, if we could give hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, reading and propagating the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's called Sukham. So living entity becomes completely happy and satisfied when somebody happens to cultivate Krishna consciousness. Ahimsa means what? One should not do anything which will put others into misery or confusion. Right? So material activity. Ahimsa, Srila Prabhupada writes here. This is a very revolutionary definition of ahimsa. Ahimsa means that people should be trained in such a way that the full utilization of human body can be achieved. Now, dear duty, what is the full utilization of human body? Huh? What is the full utilization of human body? Right?
Use it for the Krishna consciousness realization for the service of the Krishna.
Correct.
And use mind, tongue, and the physical activities for service Krishna.
Exactly. So full utilization of human body is mentioned in Bhagavatam. Nirdeham adyam sulabam sudurlabam plavam sukalpam guru karanadhara. So what is the full utilization of human body is returning home back to God. Guru karanadhara. Taret, sansara taret, to cross over this material ocean, get away from this material ocean and land in the another side of material ocean, Vaikuntha. That's one thing. So that's the full utilization. If you want to get the fullest utilization, that is prema. Prema pumartha mahan. Get loving devotional service to Krishna. Right here in this material world. That is the fullest, we can say, the utilization of human body. And training people to get that. Training people very dutifully as well as very nicely. That is ahimsa. Otherwise, everything is hinsa. You know the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. You know the knowledge how I can get out of this material ocean, but you are not preaching them. We are not imparting this to knowledge to others. This is the greatest hinsa because you have the power to stop living it is repetitive and unlimited number of deaths is going to incur having not having that knowledge. You have the power to stop that. But because you are not giving the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and that's why living entities will keep dying life after life. Right? It's not like you need to go and kill somebody, then it is hinsa. And you don't give the knowledge, anyway they are going to get killed. Right? So not giving the knowledge, that's what is hinsa. Not like you take the gun and you shoot people and somebody dies. That's called political hinsa. But our hinsa means not giving the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So similarly, samata, tushti, all these things are described. What is called yasha, all these things are described. Yasha means being known to throughout the whole world as pure devotee of the Lord. That is yasha, right? That's the real yasha. Similarly, it's mentioned that what is charity, how charity should be given. Charity given for the propagation of Krishna consciousness, which is also mentioned in 17th chapter, different kinds of charity. Those who are engaged in Krishna consciousness, charity is given there. Tushti, satisfaction. One should not be eager to gather more and more material goods. That's called tushti. One should be satisfied with whatever comes by its own accord, by the grace of the Supreme Lord. That's called satisfaction. And one should not be too much greedy. Tapasya, austerity, penance, whatever mentioned in the Vedas for the upliftment of the soul, that should be practiced, and that's called tapasya. Like rising early in the morning, taking a bath, whether it is Mag or Poos, or whether it is Baishak or Jeshta, in whatever time it is, getting up at 3:30 and taking bath. That's what is meant tapasya. So when we're not being inclined to practice such things, but doing that is called tapasya. Or doing ekadasi, Slapapa writes fasting on certain days like ekadasi, then different appearances of the Lord and appearance and disappearance of acharyas. So these are all simple tapasya which Vaishnava Shastra, Vaishnava scriptures describes that devotee should do. And some tapasya should not be done like political tapasya, doing tapasya to dethrone someone. Hartal, bhuk hartal. So that type of tapasya is not prescribed. Right. Okay, so let's go to text 7. Okay, no, text 6 was supposed to happen, na? Text 5 was done. Text 4 and 5 was done. Text 6. Text 6. महर्षय सप्त पूर्वे चत्वारो मनवस्तथा मद्भावा मानसा जाता येषां लोकैमाः प्रजाः. Translation. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitor of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from. So they are Prajapatis, progenitor of mankind, and all other jivas. But
The Lord is giving a genealogical synopsis of the universal population. Brahma is the original creature born out of the energy of the Supreme Lord, who is known as Hiranyagarbha. And from Brahma, all the seven great sages, and before them, four other great sages named Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumara, and the 14 Manus are manifested. All these 25 great sages are known as the patriarch of the living entities all over the universe. There are innumerable universes and innumerable planets within each universe, and each planet is full of population of different varieties. All of them are born of these 25 patriarchs. Brahma underwent penance for 1000 years of the demigods before he realized by the grace of Krishna how to create. Then from Brahma came Sanandan, Sananda, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumara, then Rudra, and then the seven sages. And in this way, all the Brahmins and Kshatriyas are born out of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma is known as Pitama, the grandfather, and Krishna is known as Parapitama, the father of the grandfather. That is stated in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah. So, patriarchs, 25 great sages, are known as patriarchs of the living entities all over the universes. So, who are these patriarchs? Seven great sages. Before them, four other great sages. Who are the four other great sages? Chatuskumaras. You know Chatuskumaras? The devotees?
Yes,
Haribol.
Prabhu.
Who are they?
Sanak, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar.
Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandana, Sanat Kumar. So seven great sages. Then we have four other great sages. Then 14 Manus. How many over? 14 plus 7, 21. 21 plus 4,
25.
25. So these 25 people are called patriarchs. Means original Prajapatis. They are original Prajapatis. Of course, later on comes many more Prajapatis. Also, Daksha Prajapati is one, which is not in the number here. Daksha Prajapati, he begets many children like that, many daughters. And the daughters, they get married with different rishis. Then all the rishis, they procreates other rishis and other jivas. Then Kashyapa procreates so many different jivas from different wives. From Vinata, he creates many birds. All the different birds are actually coming from Kashyapa's wife Vinata. Like Kadru, all the snakes, species of snakes are coming from another wife of Kashyap called Kadru. Like this, different living entities are created by this series one. It's not like they evolved as Darwin proclaims. Right? It's not like that. So all have been created, all species have been created by this Prajapatis. That's why they are called Prajapati, the father of all the Prajas. So this Prajapati's father is Brahma, and Brahma is called, that's why, Pitama, grandfather. And who is the father of grandfather? Krishna. So that's why Krishna is called Prapitamaha, father of the father of the father. Okay, so let's go to next sloka, text 7. I think
So there are two similar things like Prapitamaha, Parampitamaha.
Prapitama, Parampitama is same thing, right?
Okay.
Prapitama is also Krishna, and Parampita is also Krishna.
Krishna.
Parampitama. Like we say, no, Param Guru, Idam Achmanyam Param Guruve Namah. While offering bhoga to the Lord, we go to spiritual master. Then we go to spiritual master, the spiritual master. So Param Guruve Namah. We say Param Guruve Namah means spiritual master of the spiritual master. Similarly, Param Pitama means Pitama, Pitama's father. Could we call Param Pitama or Prapitama? The same thing. Text 7. Text 7. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo vetti tattvataha so vikalpena yogena yudhyate na atra sansayaha. So this is a vibhuti yoga from text 1 till text 7. Text 6. Text 6. Etam vibhuti yogam cha. ये जो विभूति योग है मम वेद व्यक्ति तत्वतः in this way through this vibhuti yoga is somebody understand me तत्वतः in truth. So अविकल्पेना अविकल्पेना मतलब उसके लिए कोई दूसरा विकल्प नहीं रह जाएगा कि आई विल थिंक अबाउट समथिंग एल्स आल्सो अदर देन कृष्ण. I will worship to some other devatas also. Meanwhile, because Durga Puja is now, so some Durga Puja should also happen anyway. So some little bit of Durga Puja also fine. Seasonal things are required, right? No, no, no. So अविकल्पेन योगेन युज्यते. Not संशय में कोई संशय नहीं है that living entity will having no other the object of yoga than Krishna. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. Purport. हरि बोल सबके कैमरे हुए
Krishna
गोल
Prabhu.
सब लोग खोल 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 कैमरे कैमरे खोल खोल हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna.
हरे 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 कृष्ण प्रभु प्लीज दिव्यांशु प्रभु सब लोग कैमरा
The,
खोलिए. यस बोलिए प्रभु बोलिए पढ़िए.
the highest summit of spiritual perfection is knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one is firmly convinced of the different opulences of the Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. Generally, people know that God is great, but they do not know in detail how God is great. Here are the details. If one knows factually how God is great, then naturally he becomes a surrendered soul and engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord. When one factually knows the opulences of the Supreme, there is no alternative but to surrender to Him. This factual knowledge can be known from the descriptions in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and similar literatures. In the administration of this universe, there are many demigods distributed throughout the planetary systems, and the chief of them are Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the four great Kumaras and the other patriarchs. There are many forefathers of the population of the universe, and all of them are born of the Supreme Lord Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the original forefather of all forefathers. There are some of the opulences of the Supreme Lord. When one is firmly convinced of them, he accepts Krishna with great faith and without any doubt. He engages in devotional service. All this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Lord. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is, for any for by knowing the greatness of Krishna, and one will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So no more we will know Krishna, more we will be fixed in the sincere devotion service. That's what it to mean. That's why Srila Prabhupada tells and Bhagavatam Srila Suta Goswami tells शृण्वतः स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्य श्रवण कीर्तन हृदन्तस्तु हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सताम् नष्ट प्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Just by hearing about Krishna, what will happen? One will get fixed. Nastiki bhakti means fixed devotion service, not shaking devotion service. So the shaky devotion service will get fixed by knowing more and more about Krishna. That's why Lord so mercifully. See, if you have to be told, you will be told to glorify your own self. how much shameful this will, like how much like won't be able to do it, right? But Lord is most humble of the all the humblest people, that He is glorifying His own self out of great causeless mercy for the jivas. That Lord is describing His own glory so that jivas could be fixed in His devotional service, right? So unlimited opulence of the Lord, and some little bit of them is discussed in Bhagavad Gita, and more is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So devotee will read these literatures more and more and more. Devotional service will get fixed more and more and more, just like that. So just by knowing this, devotees get fixed in Krishna, and that he gets Krishna consciousness, fixed in devotional service. It does devotional service to the Lord fixed, and then deviates his mind from here and there. Avikalpena, avikalpena yogena. कोई विकल्प नहीं, the nirvikalp samadhi, right? So it's true for everyone. Any devotee, whether he's a householder or a grihastha or a brahmachari sannyasi, this is for everyone, dear devotees. This is a chance, and this is the opportunity for everyone to think about Krishna, because He is origin of everything. He is right there with us. He right there in every atom of this laptop I'm seeing in front of me, every atom of my own body, even the soul of mind. It's not grammatically correct to say soul of mind, but the myself, the soul, is also pervaded by the super soul Krishna, and that's why it is existing. So now please tell dear devotees, to whom living entities to think about always. Any other thing, any other thing than Krishna. That's called madness for him. That's called madness. And he gets madly attached into material things, to think about material things, and he gets into so much absorption. He gets deep into that absorption, and he feels fearful. Abhinivesh, that's called Abhinivesh. Bhayam Ditya Abhiniveshatasya. Bhayam, that's he gets so much fearful, forgetting Krishna and getting absorbed in material activities and so on and so forth. Right? That's why Lord is telling this all the glory, so that the mind which is so much absorbed in material things will get again reconnected with Krishna, reconnected with Krishna's glories. Right? So that is the success of this giving of Bhagavad Gita by the Lord. Right? So now the second section we are going to discuss Chatusloki, and it's 11:30. I was thinking to have a small break, but I don't feel like we require it. Just half an hour more is there. So let's go ahead. So we completed the early section of Lord's description of his own opulence, the early section. And just by telling this early section, my Lord is concluding here with these four slokas. Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita, which is celebrated. So let's go 10, 8, 10, 9, 10, 10, 10, 11. They are the four slokas. Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita. And we'll see them. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Translation: I am source of all spiritual and material worlds. Yeah. I am source of all spiritual and material worlds. Same thing Lord is telling. Aham adirihi devana maharsiyacha. So again, same thing Lord is telling again here. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. सब कुछ मुझसे आते हैं. मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते. The wise who perfectly know this, those who are intelligent people, those who understand me, engage in my devotional service and worship me. How they worship me? With all their hearts. All their hearts. Love the God with all your heart, with all your mind. What? This is something like a proverb in Bible. It is told. What is the proverb? Love the God with all thy heart and all thy mind, or something like that. So Lord is telling in this in Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita. जो जानते हैं मेरी स्थिति को कि I am the source of the spiritual material worlds. Everything emanates from me, everything resting from me. So wise people, they will engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Bhava Samanvita. Also, Srila Prabhupada does one of the lecture. Bhava Samanvita means bhav. With great emotion, right? Bhav aa gaya usko. Bol gaya, bhav. So he serves the Lord with uh, great feelings for the Lord, right? Feelings for the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord, right? So that's what it is. So we know this, that Sambandha, Vidya and Prayojana is mentioned in the Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita. So this sloka describes about Sambandha Gyan of Jiva and Lord. It also defines who is the Lord, right? He is the source of all. Janmadiyaseta, which is the first aphorism of Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, first chapter, first sloka, and the second aphorism, Vedanta Sutra, defining the who is the absolute, who is Brahman, Athata Brahma Jigyasa, Janmadiyaseta. So this is Sambandha Gyan. This is Sambandha Gyan, right? The first thing in Vedic knowledge is Sambandha Gyan. And the whole Vedanta Sutra is just Sambandha, Vidya and Prayojana. Fourth chapter of Vedanta Sutra, first chapter Sambandha, second, third chapter Avideya, and the fourth chapter Prayojana. So here it is told, the wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service, worship me with all their hearts. So let's go to purport, and I could request. We're not yet read ever. Who is there? We're not yet read. Okay, fine. Anybody
Hare
else?
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Our learned scholar puts the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya, and who knows how to apply this teaching.
Your voice is breaking sometimes.
Okay, Prabhu, anyone can continue. Actually, my network is not good today.
Yeah, for you, Prabhu, I permit if you could kindly close your videos and then speak. I think that would be better, because streaming video requires more data. Maybe the data could be used in voice.
Prabhu, now you can see. Our learned scholar studied Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya, and who knows how to apply these teachings, can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both the spiritual and material worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods. In the Atharva Veda, Gopalatapani Upanishad 1.24, it is said, Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo ve Vedam cha Gapayati Sama Krishnaha. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge, and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again, the Narayana Upanishad 1 says, Atha Puruso Have Narayano Kamayata Prajaha Srajayati. Then the Supreme Personality Narayana desired to create living entities. The Upanishad continues, Narayanad Brahma Jayate, Narayanad Prajapati Prajayate, Narayanad Indro Jayate, Narayanad Asto Vasavo Jayate, Narayanad Ekadasa Rudra Jayante, Narayanad Dvadasya Adityaya. From Narayana, Brahma is born, and from Narayana, the patriarchs are also born. From Narayana, Indra is born. From Narayana, the 8 Vasus are born. From Narayana, the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayana, the 12 Adityas are born. This Narayana is an expansion of Krishna. It is said in the same Vedas, Brahmanyo Devaki Putraha. The son of Devaki, Krishna, is the Supreme Personality. Narayana Upanishad 4. Then it is said, Eko ve Narayana asinna Brahma nesano na punagni somau neme dvaya aprathivi na ksharat na akstrani na suryaha. In the beginning of the creation, there was only the Supreme Personality Narayana. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no water, no fire, no moon, no heaven, and no earth, and no stars in the sky. No sun. Maha Upanishad 1.2. In the Maha Upanishad, it is also said that Lord Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord. Does the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva, who is to be worshipped? In the Moksha Dharma section of the Mahabharata, Krishna also says, can you scroll? Prajapatim cha rudram cha api aham eva sajamahi ve tohi mam na vijanito mam maya vimohito. The patriarchs Shiva and others are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by me because they are deluded by my illusionary energy. In the Vara Purana, it is also said, Narayana paro devas tasmad jatas chaturmukaha tasmad rudro abhavad deva sarva gyatam gataha. Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, from whom Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born of me, I am the source of all. Everything is under me, no one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master with references from Vedic literatures engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and becomes a truly learned man. In comparison to him, all other who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretation on Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness.
Okay.
Is it there, Prabhu?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada is giving many references that how origin of everything is Narayana, origin of everything is Krishna. And this is what's called Sambandha Gyan. Devotee should have it with firmness, determination, and formness that Krishna is the origin of everything and Krishna is the maintainer of everything. And being so firmly fixed in consciousness of Krishna, one should become Krishna conscious. One should think about Krishna, right? Always. Text 10. Sorry, text 9. So here the process of connecting with Krishna is mentioned, right? If anybody want to connect with Krishna, a Videya process, a process to serve the Lord is described in this text 9. And also in text 10 also it's described a bit. Text 10, yeah. 8 over, 9 over, this is, sorry, it's 9 and text 10 is Tesam Satatiktana. So text 10 is about Prayojan Tattva and text 9 and 11 is Videya Tattva. Okay. So let's recite this most beautiful sloka. Make sure that when you are doing Avideya, these things happens. Maschitta madagat prana bodhayantah parasparam katyantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So when devotee understand that, oh, Krishna is the origin of everything, he is the maintainer, sustainer of everything. So then what his situation becomes, वो कैसा बन जाता है, ऐसा बन जाता है. मत चित्ता, his mind is fully engaged in Krishna. Mat chitta, not other chitta. not Chinta Chitta, or not Mani Chitta, or not what will happen to my family member Chitta. Krishna Chitta, Mat Chitta, Madgat Pranaha, their lives devoted to me. Bodhiyantaha, they preach, they engage in preaching service with Parasparam among themselves. Kathiyantaha, they talk, Cha Mam, always. Nityam, perpetually. Tushyanti, and being engaged in this way. Tushyanti, become pleased. Cha Ramanti, and enjoys transcendental bliss. Right. So, this is the way they are described in translation. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Purport. Hare Krishna, we bowl. So we have here Abhidham Chaitanya Prabhu. Nishan Prabhu has not read for many hours, I think. Nishan Prabhu, could you read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Your devotees who here especially in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in the glorifying the qualities and pastimes of Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. In the preliminary stage of devotional service, they release the transcendental pleasure from the service itself, and in the mature stage, they are actually situated in love of God. Once situated in that transcendental position, they can release the highest perfection which is exhibited by the Lord in his abode. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service in the sowing of a seed in the heart of the living entity. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe. And out of them, there are few who are fortunate enough to meet pure devotee and get chance to understand devotional service. This devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of the living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, the seed fructifies just as the seed of a tree fructifies with regular watering. The spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into the Brahmajyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. The spiritual sky also, that plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Golok Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as the plant grows fruits and flowers, the plant of devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. This plant of devotional service is fully described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila chapter 19. It is explained there that when the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in the love of God. Then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord, just as a fish cannot live without water. In such a state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with Supreme Lord. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations about relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees. As stated in the Bhagavatam itself, in 12.13.18, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotees are fully described. Thus, the realized soul in Krishna consciousness takes continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literature, just as a young boy and girl take pleasure in association.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, we are able to see how somebody gets into devotional service, when he performs devotional service, what are the different stages comes, which is likens to be the sowing of the seed in the heart and the growth of the seed into the plant, and then the growing more and more and more and more and more and more until it reaches to the abode of Krishna, the Golok Vrindavan Dham. So it's called Avideya process, which is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita as Srila Prabhupada mentions here. So, and this is also called the 9 stages of devotional service, right? How many of you know the 9 stages of devotional service? Mentioned by Srila Rupa Goswami and Bhakti Rasamrita Sila, please raise your hand. And if like anybody know it, can you please name them 9, one after another?
हरे कृष्ण श्रवणं कीर्तनं कृष्ण स्मरणं पादसेवनं अर्चनं वन्दनं दास्यं
Oh, that is sorry. That is the process of devotional service.
Okay.
That is described by Lal Maharaj in 7th canto. I'm talking about the stages of devotional service, progressive stages of devotional service for a devotee.
So there are
Go.
the
Yes, from Shraddha to Prema.
yeah, श्रद्धा साधु संग भजन क्रिया अनर्थ निवृत्ति निष्ठा रुचि and Shakti, Bhava and Prema.
Yeah, correct. Wonderful. So these are the 9 stages of devotional service in which devotee has to graduate one stage after another. And all devotees should know this. And so Shraddha means little bit Shraddha. Okay, I like these people are good. Chanting of Hare Krishna, they are doing. Then somebody comes in that association of devotees, Sadhu Sangha. So formal initiation by the spiritual master becomes the formal sadhu sangha and the official sadhu sangha that starts from right there. Then he starts devotional service, bhajana kriya, he starts the holy name regularly in association with devotees. Follow for related principles, read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Bhajan kriya starts, right? Then bhajan kriya starts, then anartha nivritti take place. Anartha nivritti then had happened quite good amount, not full, uh, but still quite a hefty amount of anartha nivritti takes place. Then devotee comes on the platform of nishtha. And at the same time, he's practicing devotional service. He gets the platform Ruchi. The Ruchi and the Ruchi platform, the devotee gets a relishment in performance of devotional service. Right? A relishment. He gets more and more enjoyment. Devotional service doesn't become hackneyed for you. How many of you have got this? Okay, I've got this opportunity to do devotional service today, chanting the holy name 16 rounds early in the morning. Hurry, boom. Today I will chant the holy name. How many of you feel like that? None of you? Oh, Abram Prabhu. Okay, fine. So that's the symptom of taste. You have got the taste. Not only 16 hours. Why don't you chant more hours? Okay, chant more, time in that, chant more. So we are getting taste in devotional study. That's called ruchi. And then somebody advances more, then he gets attachment with Krishna. That's called asakti, attachment with Krishna. तुझे भूलना भी चाहा फिर भी भुला न पाए. So that attachment comes that I can never, I cannot forget Krishna. Oh, Krishna, I can never forget. As soon as you find yourself that you have forgotten Krishna, you find, my God, why am I forgetting Krishna? Oh, it's so nice to always think about the Lord and do loving devotional service, asakti. Then asakti develops more and more and more intensified. Then it becomes bhava, where one is able to see Krishna face to face. And bhava intensifies more when he comes to the platform of prema, in which one is one is engaged in loving relationship like lila. He enters into lila of the Lord in prema. Right? He deals with Krishna just like we do, dealing every day, talking with the devotees. So in prema, devotee talks with the Lord, fights with the Lord, he eats with the Lord. So all that takes place in prema. So devotees should know this, right? Unless then we know the way how to go. Like suppose I happen to go to Vrindavan. I doesn't know what are the stations going to come on the way. And because of that, I will board some other train which is going to Mumbai. So I'll end up in Mumbai. Right. That's why once you know the process of devotional service, what are the different platforms, what are the different stations it goes through. So there are the 9 stages one goes through. And prema also doesn't stay there only. From prema, one goes to even more. There are 6 more divisions of prema, starting from sneha, mana, pranaya, bhava, mahabhava, like that. So, yeah, let's go to text. Text 10. Okay. So this is the Prayojan Tattva mentioned in text 10. Very beautiful Prayojan Tattva. Tesam satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport. That's a not so big purport. Could kindly read. Okay. Yes, bro.
In this verse, the word Buddhi Yoga is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter of the chapter, the Lord instructing Arjuna said that he had spoken to him many things and that he would instruct him in the way of the Buddhi Yoga. Now, Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself in action in Krishna consciousness, that is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligent and yoga means majestic activities or majestic elevations. When one tries to go back to home, go back to Godhead, and takes fully Krishna consciousness in devotion service, his acting is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of the material world. The ultimate goal of the process is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of the devotee and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly, progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. When the person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of the activities, he is acting in Karma Yoga. When he knows that goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in material speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga. And when he knows the goal of seeing Krishna completely in the Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, which is complete yoga. The complete yoga is the highest perfections stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to the spiritual organization. But if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within give him instruction so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The question is that a person always engages himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kind of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord give him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhu. So this is called Buddhi Yoga, right? Buddhi Yoga. The process by which one gets out of entanglement of this material world. So Prabhupada tells what is called Buddhi Yoga. So when goal is Krishna, but people are so much attached to the fruits of activities, fruits of his activities. Goal is Krishna, but fruits of activities. He does more of fruitive activities, right? So then that's called Karma Yoga. Karma is a little bit bhakti there, little bit bhakti. And then goal is fixed Krishna, but is more engaged into philosophical speculation, a lot of jnana. So then it becomes jnana yoga. And when the goal is Krishna, but he does a lot of bhakti, he does activities with love and devotion, then it becomes bhakti yoga. And bhakti yoga also there are different gradations. Now bhakti yoga has come, like majority is bhakti, yet we see bhakti done for material pleasures, to get material pleasures. So that also get into karma mishra bhakti. Bhakti is there, but people are yet little bit attached with jnana, so much of jnana. Not the jnana of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Jnana of mental speculation and knowledge that I am not this body, I am soul, right? So this type of knowledge, uh, which covers the bhakti, which is actually also comes in Jnana Mishra Bhakti. And Nirguna Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti means the means and the goal is same, right? In which you do what? Devotion service with love and devotion. So Prabhupada writes that the qualification is that a person always engages himself in Krishna consciousness with love and devotion, render all kind of services. So we are doing the services, maybe devotion service, but what is the agenda of doing the service? Is that love and devotion to the Lord? Or else something else? In Kapil Muni, third canto, he describes like there could be so many different types of aspirations and motivations while performing devotion service. Somebody performs devotion service in Tamoguna. He is in Tamoguna. And he performs devotion service. While doing devotion service, he'll be thinking that let by performing some devotion service, that devotee should get get harmed. Oh, that devotee is performing 25 rounds. I will perform 30 rounds. I will show the whole world that I am chanting more than him. So these are the devotional service, actually not devotional service which pleases the Lord. Right. So this is called Tamoguna Bhakti or Bhakta which is in Tamoguna. He does so. Rajaguna, he does, okay, I am doing devotional service. What is the purpose of doing devotional service? I have to get to Krishna, but in the meanwhile, I will get what? I will get sense gratification, Hari Bol, very nice sense gratification in Rajaguna. Or else I will get what? I will get opulences. Wow, opulences. Opulences. I see ISKCON devotee is so much opulent. Wow. Those opulences I will get. And what else? I will get fame. Hari Bol. I will be glorified throughout the whole world, ISKCON world. Such a great devotee. Wow. That day will come, and that's how I'm doing devotional service. So in this also, the goal of performance of devotional service is not Krishna. Right? Living it is that doing performing devotional service, but somewhere in the corner something else is going in the mind. And more devotional service in mode of goodness, in which he thinks, okay, I am doing devotional service, I am doing this work for Krishna. I'll offer everything for Krishna. So out of duty he's doing devotion. There's not much love into it. Okay, I have to do this. Okay, I will offer it to Krishna. Karmarpanam bhakti. So that's a mode of goodness. But Nirguna bhakti means loving devotion service. That's what Krishna wants. Loving devotion service. While we are doing devotion service, we should understand that this is for the transcendental pleasure of the Lord. Right? If the transcendental pleasure of the Lord will surely bring that jiva immediately on the platform of loving devotional service. And there, on that platform, Krishna reciprocates with the devotee. And that's called Prayojan Tattva. And how he reciprocates? He gives all the buddhi intelligence, buddhi yogam tam, ददामि बुद्धि योगम तम ये माम उपयांति ते. भगवान उसको बुद्धि देते हैं कि कैसे तुम मेरे पास आ जाओगे. कब देते हैं? जब कोई भक्ति करता है प्रीतिपूर्वकम भक्ति करता है. भक्ति मतलब भक्ति करता है लेकिन प्रीति विथ लव he does anything for the very much great attention with great love. I'm doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. There is no other separate agenda. Then Lord gives immediately buddhi, intelligence. Every time He's always with him and He is giving him buddhi. He practically is talking with him. Right. So this is called Prayojan Tattva. The goal is attained for that person. Yeah. So that's called buddhi. Lord is giving buddhi, dami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upandite. Devotee becomes super intelligent, right? Thus getting the buddhi from the Lord because of his engaged in loving devotion service to the Lord, not out of duty in mode of goodness, not out of desire in mode of passion, not out of envy and uh, hinsa, violence in mode of ignorance, but for the pleasure of the Lord. Yeah. So then Lord gives the buddhi, intelligence. He talks with the devotees. Okay, text 10, 11. And this is the last sloka of this particular section and for today also. So we are exceeding for maybe more 2-3 minutes. Please forgive me for that because I have to complete it. So let's go ahead. 10, 11. Tesamevanuvam partham aham ajnanadam tamaha nashyami atmabhavastho jnanadipena bhashvata. To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with a shining lamp of knowledge, darkness born of ignorance. Purport. Purport. Who will read the purport?
When Lord Chaitanya was in Banaras promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, thousands of people were following him. Prakash Nanda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Banaras at that time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadi philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact. There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literature or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart. So the sincere devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. The Mayavadi philosophers think that without discriminating one cannot have pure knowledge. For them, this answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principles, are still helped by the Supreme God as stated in this verse. The Lord tells Arjun that basically there is no possibility of understanding the supreme truth, the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead simply by speculating. For for the supreme truth is so great that it is not possible to understand him or to achieve him simply by making a mental effort. Man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he is not devoted, if he is not a lover of the supreme truth, he will never understand Krishna or the supreme truth. Only by devotional service is the supreme truth Krishna pleased, and by his inconceivable energy he can reveal himself to the heart of pure devotees. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart, and with the presence of Krishna, who is just like the sun, darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated. This is the special mercy rendered to pure devotee by Krishna. Due to the contamination of material association through many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chants Hare Krishna, the dust quickly clears and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. The ultimate goal, Vishnu, can be attained only by his chant and by devotional service and not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He need not be anxious because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become a soul, completely surrender to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in the pure devotional service. As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic endeavors.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, dear devotees. So, this sloka, as we have seen, this sloka describes the Abhidaya Tattva, the process of attaining prema, in which devotees does devotional service in the beginning, there are a lot of darkness, a lot of avidya, a lot of dust is there in the heart. So that all that dust gets cleared out by sincere devotional service. Srila Prabhupada, Mahaprabhu likens that dusting of the heart to be cleaning the mirror, right? That takes place, and that takes place just by sincerity. Somebody does sincere devotional service to Lord, and completely that heart gets cleansed out and becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord, and gives himself in pure devotional service without any materialistic endeavors. Okay, so dear devotees, I'd like to pause here to continue on tomorrow, remaining sections of 10th chapter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And I don't think you have any question. If you have any discussion question in there, you can take one if you have any. Otherwise, fine. Also, you can have a discussion also in the group if you have something.
I have one doubt, Prabhuji.
Okay, Divyanshu Prabhu, please say.
So, so here the Buddhi Yoga is kind of equated to the Bhakti Yoga. So I think so there should be a difference, right? Buddhi is like in the previous sloka we understood the concept of intelligence. So I equate intelligence as Buddhi, let's say. So but here in the purport, the intelligence like the Buddhi Yoga is said to be same as Bhakti Yoga. So थोड़ा सा मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया.
Yeah. Very nice question, Prabhu. So if you read in Srimad Bhagavatam, intelligence is in direct connection with Paramatma. It's mentioned there. Buddhi is actually being run by Paramatma. Of course, mind is also run by Paramatma. But Buddhi is something which is creation of ahankar and mode of passion. And then there is chitta, then there is ego, false ego, which is directly in connection with Sankarshan. Mind is directly in connection with Aniruddha. Intelligence is directly in connection with Pradyumna. And chitta is directly connection with Vasudeva. So like this, intelligence is actually given by Krishna himself, right? So intelligence, what is bad, what is good, that is actually given by Supreme Lord himself. So that's why this is called Buddhi Yoga. Yoga means connection, right? So Buddhi Yoga, it doesn't mean that no one should apply Buddhi. But who is giving the Buddhi? Buddhi is given by Krishna himself. That's why it's called Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga Dadamitam. What is the Buddhi Yoga? The thinking of I'm Sarva also. Like somebody thinks that I will read Bhagavatam today. Immediately his bhakti started actually. Just by thinking I will serve the Lord is the bhakti. Right? You thought by your intelligence that I will offer bhoga today. I will offer bhoga today. And his thought about it. Immediately buddhi, from buddhi we started doing devotion service. Then we'll think how I'll do devotion service, how do I offer bhoga? Okay, I have to go and cook. So what I will cook. So when the mind comes in action. So buddhi gives the order to the mind comes in action. And now we have started doing devotion service through the mind. And that's very, very powerful way of doing devotion service through the mind, right? So if mind is engaged in devotion service, that's a perfection actually. Not only hand. Things are many times seen. Hand, words are engaged in the service of the Lord, but mind is not with Krishna. Intelligence is not with Krishna, right? So, who is giving this? Krishna is giving. And just performing through buddhi, Lord Acharya tells that anybody even thinks that I will read some Bhagavatam today, immediately Lord's enter into your heart. Immediately. Forget about reading the Bhagavatam, studying Bhagavatam itself. Sadhya hridya varuddhate prakriti susrushi vistatsanat. Immediately that takes place. So the buddhi is also given by the Lord, and by performance of that devotion service, and when thinking of doing a devotion service also bhakti, is actually bhakti. So bhakti is the internal potency of Krishna Swarup Shakti. So Bhakti sanjayate bhakta. Bhakti sanjayate bhakta. From bhakti only bhakti happens. So Supreme Lord, he expands his Swarup Shakti Bhakti into the mind and intelligence of a devotee. And then he does devotion service. So from bhakti, he again starts doing bhakti. So Buddhi Yoga is nothing other than bhakti. It's bhakti yoga only. Hopefully, that's why Srila Prabhupada in the beginning chapters, third chapter, fourth chapter, wherever Buddhi Yoga is mentioned, Srila Prabhupada straightway tells is bhakti yoga. Yeah. That's not Buddhi Yoga means something else. Like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, no. Jnana Yoga is other than Bhakti Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. Yes, Prabhu?
Okay, bro. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanand.